Hello everybody! Today we're going to continue to work with division strategies, and today we're going to take a look at how to solve two-digit divided by one-digit division problems using a place value chart. And I think you guys are going to find that this, once you get the hang of it, is quite easy, and it's a nice little way to divide. I actually had to learn this myself this weekend because this is not how I learned how to do division. And once I figured out how this works, man, I wish I had learned this as a kid. So let's take a look at how this works. I have actually put examples on here to look exactly like your assignment so that what I'm modeling here is exactly what I should see when you complete your assignment. You'll just have different problems. So we're going to divide by showing our work on the place value chart, and we're going to make sure we record the quotient and the remainder. Now, if you don't remember, quotient is the answer to a division problem. So you're going to record your answer to the division problem and the remainder, if there is one. So let's take a look at our first example. We have 6 divided by 3. So when we want to do division on a place value chart, we're going to first start by showing our dividend. That's this first number here on our place value chart. So I'm simply going to show 6 ones. You guys are experts at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I want to divide them into 3 equal groups. So what I'm going to do underneath that is I'm going to set up 3 rows for spaces to put my 3 different equal groups. So I've got 1 here, and 1 here, right? And all I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend I have little counters, and I'm going to start sorting them and dividing them into those rows. So I'm going to put this one here, and I like to cross it off to keep track. I'm going to take this one and put it here, and this one and put it here. And I'm going to keep doing that until I run out of dots, and actually make sure that each of the groups are equal. So I can keep going because I have 3 more ones and 3 groups. So I can keep dividing them out or parceling them out. I've run out of ones, so I don't have any more to separate out, and now I can look for my answer. My answer is simply going to be how many dots end up in each row. And how many dots ended up in each row? Well, we had 2. So our quotient is going to be 2 because 6 divided by 3, as we know, is 2. And in this case, we had no remainder. We're going to look up here for our remainder, and if there are no dots left over that we haven't put into our equal groups, then we have no remainder. The second piece is to check your work, and here's how you're going to check your work. Okay, you are going to use your multiplication strategies to check your work. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your quotient, in this case it's 2, you're going to multiply it by the number of groups you had to make, or the number you divided by, which is 3, and I got 6. Did it give me my dividend, the first number in my division problem? It did, so I know my answer must be accurate. Let's take a look at what happens when we do have a remainder. Or actually, I take that back. Let's see what happens when we have a 2-digit problem. In this case, we have 36 divided by 3. Again, step 1, show my first number just on a place value chart. 10, 20, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Straightforward. Now I'm dividing by 3. So I'm going to make 3 rows down underneath to divide that into. So there's 1 row, 2 rows, and then this will just be my 3rd down here. So I've got my 3 rows, right? 1, 2, 3 rows. And I'm going to start dividing them out. I'm going to go with my 10s first. So here's a 10. I'm going to put that one there, and that one goes there, and that one goes there. Luckily, no leftovers. I don't have to worry about it. Now I'm going to go to my 1s. I'm going to start parceling them out equally. Remember, it's got to be equal. And so I'm just going to keep going until I have no more 1s or until I can't do it equally anymore. I've given away my 1s. Now I can find my quotient. Remember, my quotient is simply what's going to be in each row. So I have 1 10 and 2 1s in each row. And 1 10, 2 1s is 12. So my quotient is going to be 12. I have no remainders. All of my 10s got spread out and shared equally. All of my 1s got shared equally. So once again, my remainder is 0. Okay, to check my work, let's do it in green so it's a little darker. I'm going to take the number of items in each row, my quotient, that's 12. I'm going to multiply it by what I divided by, 3. So I'm going to take this times this. and I'm going to see what I get. And I know 10 times 3 is 30, 2 times 3 is 6, so that makes 36, and I'm going to check, does it give me my dividend? It sure does, so I know my work is correct. It's accurate. This is how you write your checking of your work. Show me the multiplication problem, okay? Now let's take a look at what happens when we do have some remainders. Okay, these worked out really nicely, worked out with no remainders and everything divided nice and equally. So let's take a look at one with just some ones. We have 5 divided by 4. So once again, start off simply by just showing your dividend in your place value chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ones. Okay, step number 2, I'm going to make 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so I've got my 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. And I'm going to start parceling them out. One goes here, one of them goes here, one of them goes here, one of them goes here. Oh, I have 1 left over. I can't put it here because then my groups aren't equal. That's not fair. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take that back. Just going to get rid of that blue there. And I'm just going to circle it. This is my leftover, my remainder. I can't divide it equally. If this was 5 cookies divided among 4 kids without having to break the cookie apart or divide it into anything smaller, I can't share that 1 extra cookie. It's a leftover. So my quotient is how many are in each row? Just 1. And my remainder is going to be 1 this time. I have 1 left over. Remember to check your work. Take your quotient. That's 1. Multiply it by the number you divided by. That's 4. I get 4 with that. But that's not 5, the number I started with. Don't forget your remainder. Now add your remainder onto that. And do you get the number you started with? And in this case, we did. Okay, so for checking your work, and you may want to write this on a piece of paper somewhere, you'll do the quotient multiplied by the number you divided by. And get your answer, get your product, and then take your product and add your remainder plus the remainder. And it should give you your dividend, your first number you started with. You may want to write that somewhere, so pause it and write that down if you want to remember those steps for checking your work. Let's see what it looks like when we have a 2-digit number divided by a single-digit number with a remainder. 45 divided by 4. Again, first step, just show your 45. 1, 2, 3, 4 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ones. I'm going to make 4 equal groups. 1, 2, 3, and 4 equal groups. Okay, now I'm going to start parceling them out. Here we go. I'm going to put a 10 in each group. And that takes up all my 10s, so I don't have to worry about any remainders from my 10s. Now let's take a look at my 1s. One of those goes there, 1 there, 1 here, and 1 here. Ooh, once again, I've got a leftover because it wouldn't be fair to give it to one row and not the others. So my quotient is going to take a look at how many in each row. I have 1 10, 1 1. So my quotient is going to be 11. A 10 and a 1 make an 11. And my remainder in this case is going to be 1. I have 1 1 left over. Okay, remember checking your work. The quotient times the number you divided by. That gives me 44, because I know 4 tens is 40, and 1 4 is 4. Put those together, I get 44. And then I take my product of that, add my remainder, and does it equal the number I started with? It sure does, so I know my work is accurate. Okay? Let's take a look at one final example. And maybe you want to try to pause this, set it up on a paper, and test it with me. Try and see if you can do it along with me if you've got it. We're going to show 68 first. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Divided by 3. I'm going to make 3 separate parts. Here's my 3 rows. And I'm going to make sure we divide the tens first evenly. Let's see if it works. 1 10 there, 1 10 there, 1 10 there. I've still got 3 left. Yep, that'll work nicely. So I'm going to make sure I separate those out nicely. Then I'm going to take my 1s. I know that I've got enough. I can at least put 2 ones in each row, so I'm just going to do that more efficiently. I'm going to put 2 in each because I know I'm going to have at least that. Ooh, I've got 2 left over. That's not going to be nice and fair, so those are going to be circled as my remainder. Because if I did 1, 2, this guy would be left, so that won't work. Okay, my quotient. How many 10s and 1s do I have in each row? 2 10s, 2 1s, so my quotient should be 22. And what I have left is 2. So to check my work, take my quotient, multiply it by how many we divided by. I know 20 times 3 is 60 and 2 times 3 is 6. So that should be 66. And then 66 plus whatever my leftovers were. My remainder is 2, so I should get 68. And that was my starting number. So I know my quotient and my remainder are accurate. Now you get to try. Make sure you show your work on your place value chart. Cross them off as you need to keep track. Check your work. Okay, and if there is no remainder, please write a 0. Good luck and let me know if you